Hello everybody, welcome to Joshie.dat once again. I hope you all are doing well and having a fantastic day. We are on Season 2 of Joshie. That's right, we're doing this in seasonal format because this is a long series and we are just scratching the surface. We have done 250 levels so far, and I figured every 250 levels we would start a new season, so that's why the purple background's right there. I changed it just to kind of showcase it for the thumbnail, which I'll have to update my thumbnail layout too. But anyway, welcome in. Hope you are doing good, and let's get the vibes going. We're gonna play some Joshie, and starting off with random. This level is a Joshua 1 level. If that can't be tell. You can't tell already. That yellow key was absolutely not necessary, but... And so was the teleport. You could just made the connection through the wall. Choose this one, choose this one, choose this one. I think it's the middle one? Yeah, the other paths lead to bombs. And that's how you can tell it was Joshua 1, because there's a guesswork bit in this level. Even though this is called random, there is no random elements in this level whatsoever. There are random forest floors, but those are only there on the paths that lead to death earlier. But we got a bit of block pushing to do. We'll take a bit of time. So how the heck is everybody? I know I say it all the time, but I do sincerely apologize for these lack of recordings. There has been a lot going on behind the scenes with me as a person, and it just wasn't suitable. I just wasn't suitable enough to sit down and record. I definitely had to deal with all those things first. Last month in particular, June, is probably going to always be the hardest month for me moving forward in life. It's the month I lost my grandmother. May she rest in peace. She has been gone for 2 years now, and it's just so surreal how life has gone on without her. All these things I'm never going to be able to tell her about or share with her because she's just no longer with us. And I know that's kind of a sad sob story, I guess. I'm not trying to get sympathy or anything like that. It's a reality I have to deal with, and it's inevitable. I'm going to talk about it every once in a while. That being said, last weekend, I went to Sonoma, or Petaluma, over about 2 hours west of my house. It's just about an hour or so north of San Francisco, if that. Went to the raceway there with a good buddy of mine. He flew out from Colorado, and he's a big racing guy, so met up with him, spent the weekend out there, which was a fun, fantastic time. I'm not usually someone that enjoys motorsport like that, but it's, at the end of the day, it's just cars, and you watch them drive in circles, so there's not much to really... You don't really have to have that much knowledge behind it. I guess if you wanted to know more about the drivers themselves and, you know, their win streaks and like stats and stuff, and yeah, but it was fun just to sit in the stands and watch them race. And the one that he was rooting for did in fact win the race, which was pretty cool. Okay, somehow I left extra blocks for this section. I'm not sure why I did that. But we should have all the chips now. So now we have this short circuit style room. This is honestly probably the highlight of the whole level. But even this isn't that creative. It is always fun to use pop-up walls as a way to make your own wall pattern as you play levels. I will admit, I am a sucker for that. Alright, get those, and I believe the exit was just up this way. There we go. Alright, random is done. That was a Josh L1 level, so let's up that count to 24. Alright, now we're on to Twin Pines Mall, a much more relevant level, I would think. I don't know how I stepped on that, but that does actually screw it, so whoops. I don't know how I stepped on that. Where's my death counter? I haven't done this in a bit, guys. I'm sorry. So as you could probably guess, this level title is a reference to the Back to the Future films. I can't remember the exact time frame I made this level, but I want to say it was fresh off of one of JB's old playthroughs from a long time ago. He played Back to the Future the game. Well, here's some random elements. This blob is... There we go. So they should eventually both die in the water. Yeah, he did this Let's Play of Back to the Future the game. And I did watch it, and I thought it was a pretty fun game. I actually went as far as purchasing the game back then. Haven't played it myself, though. Because it's a PlayStation game, and I don't really play the PlayStation anymore. To me, the PS2 was the last PlayStation. I never really cared for PS3s. PS4s, I guess, are okay. And the PS5, I don't care about the PS5. And on that note, I guess I can say it, because this is public information about it, but I guess Sony is not going to be doing physical discs anymore, which really freaking sucks, man. I mean, physical copies of games are really important, I think, and to take that away just to make it all digital and make it so you can of course there was a pop-up wall under that block. So doesn't that look nicer? Alright, those guys are gone, and we can go through here. Yeah, it really sucks. So if you got, which I'm sure a lot of you do, if you got any physical games from PlayStation or whatever console, I would honestly hold tight to those.
Bummer.
Oh, come on, dude, really? Alright, fair enough. That blob had all that room to move around, and it had to pick the spot I picked. Love to see it. But I have seen a lot of backlash towards Sony about this really stupid change. And only time will tell to see where that goes. If they'll do anything about it, or I die to a walker. That's cool. Yeah, it just sucks.
Bummer.
Oh my god, that sucks too. What are you doing, dude? What are you doing? Huh. Yeah, so I haven't done this set in quite some time. I'm going to have to wait for a whole cycle for this now. That's fine. Yeah, I haven't touched Joshie in a while. Okay. Walker died, that's cool. Yeah, the design I was going for was a bunch of 4x4 rooms connected horizontally, and some of the rooms aren't actually like that, like this room one. This is a waste of space section. Alright, get that ready. And then press that. Other than the reference, this level is just a pretty average variety level. I remember a lot of people wanted me to submit this for CCLP5, and I didn't initially want to, but I did because people asked me to. Okay, so you might notice this section is a little different between the rule sets. This was an arbitrary design choice on my part. So this room, as you can see by all the blue keys, in links, a bunch of blobs would be cloned because there's a cloner that connects to a glider cloner pointed at fire. MS that glider will die, meaning only one blob is cloned, and none of the keys are deleted, so you actually need more in MS than you do in links. In links, you only need one. So once you press that button, you basically have to run for a blue key, like right away. Okay. Cute ending room. Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads. And there's the awesome ending. I think that's why people liked it, is the ending is pretty fun. But overall, not a bad level. I can't hate it. I don't like it, but I don't hate it either. I'm firmly in the middle of the boat with it. That goes up to 28 for Josh L6. Alright. Broken floppy disk. Pick a side of the level to collect the chip, then exit in the other. Alright, so this is a Walls of CCLP3 level. One of the first ones I designed. This was originally for I think the Walls of CCLP3 Create competition back in the day. And that's kind of what got the ball rolling to make Walls of CCLP3 as an entire set. I think it's like this. Yeah. And then this one. There's only 2 options, and this one I have to push no matter what. I think it's just like this. Move that out of the way. Alright. Okay, so with that flipped, you can use the blocks to exit on the other side with a completely different wall configuration. Not gonna lie, I was really happy with this concept, and I'm a little sad it didn't take off the way I thought it would. Maybe the Sokobands aren't as original. I'm not sure. Either way, though, I think it's a cool level. This might be one of the coolest things I've made. Not to toot my own horn or nothing, but layering Sokobands on top of each other is not an easy thing to do. And I believe I only made it to where you need five of the 6 blocks instead of all 6 of them. And I think I made that change because I remember it used to be all 6 were required, but someone, I forget who, but someone in the community felt the level was weaker because all the blocks were required. But I digress, so. Broken floppy disk is done. I could, if I really wanted to, I could show off the other solution. Like do it in reverse order, solve the Sokoban up at top, and then do the block pushing bit at the bottom. But I'm not going to do that because we're on pole position 2, and this is going to take a long time. Guide the 5 balls through the 5 tracks to clone blocks here. Make sure that they hit the button 4 times per track. It's the same thing 4 times. 5 times over. So you have to do this 20 times. Alright. So I need the toggle tank. Alright. I think the teleporting part is a little bit obnoxious. By the way, this is a rejects level, so this will probably be the only time this level will ever see a Let's Play. The only cool thing about this level is the ending. Oh, you went backwards. Alright, one more around this one. Okay. 1 chip, 1 red key, 1 red button press, which I believe lets me partial. Yep, then I partial post to the next one. Okay, what do we got? We need the toggle button, tank twice. No, tank 3 times. Okay, toggle tank, tank. And then toggle. Alright. So I'm probably going to do you all a favor. I'm probably just going to speed this part up for you guys, because this is just... I can't expect this to be fun to watch. This level is... I made it because I liked the concept so much, I decided to go overkill with it. But if I come up with stuff to talk about, I will definitely do so when the time comes. But for now, all right, try. Okay, that one was a little easier. That double tank formation up top is a little obnoxious, but we take those. No one's fault but mine, because I'm the one that made the level. Alright, yellow key obtained. I'm not sure what the keys are for, but we'll figure it out when we get there. Okay, so I need a tank button. Okay, now I need a toggle, tank, and tank. Alright. Do it again. Alright, this one's easier because you actually don't need to press the buttons that often. Okay, let's get that ready. Yeah, because once you do that, it just goes straight to the button. Alright, one more, and then we have one more track to do. Easy. Alright, last track. Here we go. Toggle twice. Okay. That. Okay, so the last two tracks aren't weren't that bad. Okay. We're almost there. I think from here on I will just leave it unsped up. Alright, one more block, and we are done with the button pressing part. Alright. Now this should be the part that gets really interesting. Alright. I guess I go through this. So yeah, this is the cool part of the level. You actually get to go on the track to get stuff on it. It's kind of like that big big reward at the end of a tedious level, is you get to actually wander on the tracks that you were configuring the whole time. Alright, all the chips are gotten. And now we get the fire boots, I guess. And we are out of here. Random fire boot swap at the end, but whew, what a long level that was, man. I mean, I'm glad it was easy. I'm glad I got it done. But man, that's a rough one. Like I said, cool ending, but I don't think the ending does much justice towards the rest of the level. I honestly got tired after the third track because I was just getting a little stale and kind of way too samey. That's my bad. I just liked the concept enough, and I wanted to allow that you did it like 30 times or whatever. Anyway, that deserves a little bit of a hydration break. If you drink some water. Joshie told you to. Alright, obstacle course 3. Looks like we have another Joshie 1 level on our hands. pretty simple block pushing segment here. I don't know why, I'm getting like hardcore CC1 vibes from this level. Like this could have been in CC1 or something. At least this block pushing bit makes me think of that. But yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, I went to the Sonoma Raceway with a good friend of mine, and that weekend was a real eye-opener for me personally. Oh, this is annoying. Real obstacle course, though. I will give it that. Very reasonable walker dodging part. My whole outlook of life has completely shifted thanks to my friend I went out there with. Got to talk to him about some pretty heavy stuff, and he helped me change my outlook of life, not to feel so defeated all the time, so stressed out and, you know, unhappy and stuff. Because it probably doesn't show that well in these recordings, but it's I've been kicked to the curb a lot in life. Not to, like, you know, sob story or nothing. This is just factual. Okay, I would like to loop this guy. There we go. So he helped me out by giving me a really enjoyable weekend away from home for a couple days, and you know, all that good stuff. I had an absolute blast. Okay, maybe this bit not so much CC1-esque. But it is just simple item swapping. Yeah, I couldn't remember if that led right to a tank. Okay. What do we got going on here? 2 bombs. And use the block for that one. Okay, pretty easy level, all things considered. Not bad. Alright, Joshie.dat gets another one added to its count. Let's see, that goes up to 25 because that is a much funnier number than 24. Alright, level 256. Level 256. I had to put it here, man. I had to. All blocks have chips under them. This was a 100% me that put this level in this spot. I mean, you gotta. So this is a Walls of CCP3 level using Pac-Man, and someone gave me the genius idea to use it and build the glitchy half in the infamous last level of the Pac-Man game. Now, admittedly, I kind of wish I did it a little differently. I probably wouldn't have put traps and thieves everywhere. Because this is about half the chips under the blocks. And this bit right here, especially, is pretty hard. Or not hard, but it's tricky. Okay, we'll do that. Now, you do need a couple of these blocks at the end. I think we need like 2 or 3 of them. So it is something to be mindful of. Okay, gotta really be careful here. It's good that there's a lot of bombs in this because you can get rid of the blocks you know you've pushed. And clear out obstacles at the same time. Okay, I think for this, you can take a block out and go under here. Yeah, some of those are going to have to get pushed in traps. We'll just do that one. Okay, so that takes care of that cluster. All right. I believe these 3 I have to push as well. Yep. Alright, 25 chips left. I can blow that up. Okay, breaking through to this is probably the hardest part. Because it is a little specific. Not terribly so, but... Okay, broke out through there. Alright. This should be the rest of the chips up here. Okay, how do we... can do it like this. Alright, 4 left, and they should be right here. There we go. No one-chip Andy for me today. Okay, so we just need a partial post. Can't push that, okay. There we go. Level 256 is done. Very interesting level. I know some people like it a lot. I like it too for the gimmick, but ooh, that was a knuckle crack. Yeah, it's I think it's a cool level. I don't think it breaks too far from the original though. But in the Walls of context, this was absolutely the route to go. So I don't regret that. All right, Potpourri 2. Wow, it's like he just took Potpourri and made his own take of it. Let me guess, is there going to be a thief under one of these blocks? Yep. Even down to 100 seconds left. Wow, this really is just like Potpourri. Holy crap, I was not original back then, man. Holy crap. Oh, this is new. Potpourri didn't have something like this. I guess this is just a safe spot. Easy blue wall section. Alright, Potpourri 2. That was a level. That is for sure. That's probably the most unoriginal level I've seen thus far in the set. Uh-oh, for the love of tanks.
Bummer.
Okay. Death count is at 399. Crazy. One more and we're at 400. So I can give this one for free. This was 100% inspired by JB's Think Tank in CCLP3. Okay. A couple of appearing walls in there, but the tank cycle is so lenient. I just gotta wait for a second. I'm gonna hydrate again while we're waiting. Yeah, at the time when I made this, I was still under considerable inspiration from CCLP3. And Think Tank in that set always stuck out to me for some reason. Maybe it was the design style of it and the surrounding levels of Think Tank. you can just tell it was made by someone else that you like the designs of. Because I think I've always liked JB's CCLP3 levels. I don't think there's one I actively dislike. Sorry, I had an itch on my knee. The tank cycle is a little long, but I think I made it like that because I felt the Think Tank one was a little too quick, but don't quote me on that because I don't remember much of Think Tank. I haven't played CCLP3 in a while. We have this section though, which is going to be a doozy. I have no idea even how to get some of these chips. Okay, I can get that one.
Bummer.
Okay, so how do we get those chips then? Hold on a second. I need to look at this. Do you get skates? I don't know. I don't remember if you get skates for that, because I don't think those chips are accessible. Alright, well, we're on death number 400, ladies and gentlemen. Alright. Yeah, there might be skates in that room. I don't remember there being skates, though. Hopefully there's no more long levels after this. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there are skates in that room, so... how do you get those chips, then? Yeah, this is so weird, dude. I am going to die again, yeah. I don't know. I need to look at this in the editor. Give me a second here. Open Joshie. Level 258. There are. They are all the way to the right of that room. Wow, that is mean of me to put those there. Okay, well that answers my questions. Because I genuinely had no idea how to get these 2 chips. The one to the left of me and the one directly above me. Because you cannot get them without them. So, kind of screwed up, but it is what it is. Just gotta deal with the long tank cycle. Alright. Well, now that I know there are skates in that room, I know exactly what to do. I did not telegraph that to any player who has played this level, and I sincerely apologize for that. And I think I made the tank cycle this long because of that ice room. Oh boy. Yeah, even from right here, you can't see their skates. So... and that's as far as you can go without entering that room. Okay. So I guess I just need to book it.
Bummer.
How the... dude, how do you get... dude, this is not fun. I'm not having fun playing this. This level sucks. Okay, so... is the pop-up wall as a safe spot? I guess that's what I would do. I don't know. Because this is just taking way too long to get back to, just to fail it again. Wow. Alright. I'm using this as a safe spot. Alright, skates acquired.
Bummer.
Oh man, this level, I see why no one liked this level. This one sucks, man.
Bummer.
I didn't even pay attention. Why did I have to make this so long to get there? Like, design-wise, like the way the level looks and the way it's presented, it ain't half bad. Like, I wouldn't change much about the actual design of this level, but I would definitely change how frequent the tanks flip. I would probably just completely exile this ice section. Or at the very, very least, make the skates available earlier. Alright, let's try doing it this way. No, there's always going to be a tank right there, man. I don't know how to even approach this room, man. I'm just gonna die again, you know? I think you have to use the pop-up wall. What if I push the block? Don't enter the teleport yet. Go up through it with a green key towards the end, though. So that gets rid of that tank. Does he come back? No, he does not come back. Okay, I should have just done that from the start. Okay. Well, that was weird. Okay, I think that's it. I'm just gonna make the assumption, because I don't want to do that room again. Okay. So the toggling stopped, or the tank flipping stopped. So now I have control of the tanks again. This tells me I need to push this up to let that blow up. Okay, they're gonna go back to flipping. Is it the same pacing? No, it's noticeably faster. Okay. I can get behind this. Okay, that part's cool. I like this bit of the level. I think the biggest culprit was those skates. Okay, that tank is gonna trap me in there, unless there's a red key somewhere. Maybe under the... It's probably under a block. Yep, yellow key. There we go. Okay. Okay, so... we have another one of these sections. There's 9 chips left. Is that... Those are chips under those tanks over there. Okay. So, what do we do? How do we unravel you? I guess something like this? Oh, there's a green key. Alright, just gotta do this a couple of times. A little lengthy. I definitely wouldn't make it this long today. One chip left. Oh, I got the green key. Alright. For the Love of Tanks is finally completed. Good lord, man. It's pretty rough around the edges, that's for sure. Yeah, that ice section, if I were to redesign this today, I would just completely eliminate that ice section and replace it with something else. Tank levels have never really been my specialty to make levels out of, which is kind of crazy to say because I have a tank level that got into CCLP 5, but I digress. They're really weird to make, and you can definitely see there was Think Tank inspiration behind this. Not everything was retained from Think Tank. I didn't do a bug looping thing or whatever, but definitely the intervals of changing the cloning, not the cloning, the tank toggling speeds is definitely, I think, something Think Tank did for sure. But yeah, that's all there is to that level. Alright, kickboxing. So this is a little level I made for a 9x9 set project that me and VT were going to do. However, that set never came to fruition, so I salvaged all the levels I did make and put them into my CCLP 6 submissions set. The important thing to note with this level is the skates are not needed, just based off the context of how they're presented. And I think I already screwed up because you do need all the boots. So let's just count that as a death. I hope my death count is right. Oh yeah, you do this first. That's the trick. And then skates are never needed. They're just there for aesthetics. And the name kickboxing is I believe, a SpongeBob reference. I named it that because there's blocks and boots. So there's boxes and there's boots, which I would presume is what one would kick with. Okay, so let's just collect those and those. And that's it. Nothing to it. Pretty cute level. I really do enjoy it. That goes into the other category. I enjoy these kinds of levels. These small, you know, you sort of have to think about it because that block maneuver is absolutely necessary, I think. Alright, capping off today's episode with puzzle. So far, I'm not seeing any kind of puzzle. But maybe, just maybe, that will change. Okay, I need skates for that. The literal last one I checked. Cool. Ah, my favorite blue wall maze. Okay, that was 6 keys. And that's 8. That lets me exactly travel up through here. Okay, I guess that's a little bit of a puzzle, and I guess this would be as well. I feel like this is just an assorted arrangement of CC1 elements. Ooh, random force floors. That's where the exit is, too. Okay, it must just be this room. What was the puzzle here, past Joshie? What were you cooking with that? Who knows? We'll never know. There was no puzzle whatsoever in that. That was another Joshua 1 level. Actually, quite a few Joshua 1 levels today. I'm quite surprised. What, we had like 4 of them? Crazy. Alright, everybody. That is going to be it for the first episode of Season 2 of Joshie. Not a whole lot went down in terms of talking about stuff today. It was just crazy because I have a notepad file open right next to the window listing things I intended on talking about today. And some of them I did, actually. But not to the depth I wanted to. I think those would be better for another time, or the CCLP1 series, which I'm probably going to crack down on that right now, too. So we will continue onward onto the battle frontier, which I'm going to just straight up say this is another rip-off level of Repugnant Nonsense. And that will be it. So if you made it this far and you had a fun time vibing and chilling here, thank you for doing so. Hope you all have a good rest of your day. Remember to stay hydrated. I have just a little bit of water left. And I spilled it all over me. Nice. Hydrate. Stay cool. I know there's a heat wave going on the East Coast, folks, and it's probably going to hit me any day now. But yeah, take care of yourself. See you next time for Season 2, Episode 2. I think the season thing is fun, though, man. I have a really fun time with that.